evening and welcome to our Thursday, March 16, 2017 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, Guyana signs MOUs with Mexico for capacity building in the oil industry. Ministry of Communities Procurement Project Implementation Community Workshops commence, and degree graduates to intern at the Pharmacy Council of Guyana and the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation Pharmacy Internship. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta Lafleur. Here are the details. The government has signed several memorandums of understanding with Mexico Institute for Petroleum to build capacity in the emerging oil and gas sector. More from Tiffany Rodius.
The three MOUs were signed between Minister of Natural Resources Rafael Trotman and the Director General of the Mexican Institute of Petroleum, IPM, Dr. Ernesto Rios Patron. Dr. Rios noted the first area is the creation of 3 white papers.
We signed an agreement for assistance to the Guyana government in order to write 3 white papers whose purpose, first one, is to build an overall balance of demand and supply of oil and gas in the industry.
The IMP is expected to complete the white papers within 6 months, Dr. Rios says. The other MOUs provide for creating training capabilities for human resources in labor, technical and professional jobs. The IMP will also be creating a technical background and overall technical framework. This is to help the government's relationship with the emerging industry, Dr. Rios says. Mexican Ambassador to Guyana, Ivan Roberto Sierra Medel, says this is an important exchange as both countries stand to benefit from Guyana's overall development.
In the Western Hemisphere, you have Guyana as the new entrant into the energy producing business, oil extraction. So it's in the common interest to share experiences. Then, of course, the industry is very dynamic. So the expertise that we share with you and the experiences that the new model will bring are good for everybody.
Mexico has 100 years in experience extracting oil, and the Mexican Institute of Petroleum has in excess of 50 years experience in developing capacity in the sector. The institute is considered a think tank second to none in the Western Hemisphere. It has the capacity to display cutting-edge science in oil and gas, as well as capacity building even in daily jobs, the Mexican ambassador notes. Mexico's assistance to Guyana in the development of the emerging oil and gas industry dates back to 2015. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
The Ministry of Communities has begun a series of procurement and project implementation community workshops aimed at building trust and confidence in the public procurement system. Paul McAdam has the details.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkin says the workshops are in response to the cries of residents and contractors of discriminatory practices in the regional procurement system. The minister formally launched the inaugural workshop on the lawns of State House in New Amsterdam, Region 6, today.
This procurement and project implementation community workshop is designed for your empowerment and to provide greater employment at community level. It is also expected that over time, from among this pool of contractors, as well as service providers, will come a new generation of reputable and reliable regional and national contractors and service providers. It is our hope and desire and our expectation that there will be impact at the lowest level and to provide for greater local economic empowerment as well as the quality of life in our communities.
The procurement and project implementation community workshops are targeted at small contractors, including community service providers and other suppliers. Many of these stakeholders traditionally felt excluded from the public procurement system. Minister Bulkin says that one of the aims of the initiative is to help guide small contractors in the preparation of project documents. It will also aid in the submission of tenders. This, he says, will enable them to have a better opportunity to participate in the procurement process.
For a number of years, too many of our small and community-based contractors were shut out of the process, and we feel strong enough that the central government, and in particular the ministry, has a role to play to provide support to many of our smaller contractors to allow for their participation in the public pie, in the distribution of this national and public pie.
The initiative also aims to reduce the amount of unresponsive bids, widen the number of contractors as well as suppliers participating in regional contracts, and critically improve the quality of the work executed. In the coming months, the ministry, with support from the regional administrations, will conduct similar workshops throughout Guyana. Paul McAdam for the Government News Brief.
17 graduates with degrees have been inducted into the first pharmacy internship program. Delicia Haynes tells us more.
The Pharmacy Council of Guyana, in collaboration with the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, will have its first pharmacy internship program. 17 graduates who completed their first degrees in pharmacy will complete a one-year stint at the GPHC. The program will provide practical full-time knowledge to interns, equipping them to enter the medical field. Chairperson of the Pharmacy Council of Guyana, Carl Bacchus, says previously pharmacists were at a disadvantage pursuing theoretical studies while working in the medical environment.
We were attached full-time. I was a member of the second batch. 1972 it started. I was a member of the second batch. We were actually full-time attached to departments, and the training was part-time. So when we finish our 3 years, we will have had 3 years of practical experience. Now these are lucky, they're only doing 1 year.
The GPHC is the only approved medical institution in Guyana that can facilitate the internship program. Bacchus adds that the facility is suitably equipped to ensure that graduates will better be able to provide services through efficient patient care.
Because of the fact that in our mind, the pharmacy is probably one of the first places that a sick person will go, or somebody with problems will go. And even if you're not sick physically, mentally, whatever it is, and therefore they have to be equipped in every single area. They will go into the obs and gyne, they will go into surgery, they will go into dispensary, they will go into the psychiatric ward, they will go to every single one. That is the reason why the institution has to have these different departments in place. So it's not only pharmacy.
The interns, before being placed at the Health Institute to begin their stint, will benefit from presentations made by doctors and department heads of the GPHC. The presentations will provide general information and knowledge of the various GPHC departments. For the Government News Brief, Delicia Haynes.
Commuters traveling the Northwest District route are being asked to be patient as the newly recommissioned MV Berrima undergoes inspection before being put into operation. Delon Sanko has the details.
In early March, the Ministers of Public Infrastructure David Patterson and Annette Ferguson recommissioned the refurbished MV Berrima vessel. Minister Ferguson explains that the vessel is not yet plying the Northwest District Region 1 route because it has to be inspected by the Maritime Administration Department.
MARA department, they will be doing an inspection of the vessel to ensure that the vessel is properly outfitted before it goes to sea. So when those aspects of works are completed, then the vessel will sail to region number 1.
The MV Berrima was rehabilitated at a cost of $115 million with upgrade seating accommodation, more capacity, and a new crane to load cargo on board. The inspection is expected to be completed by early next month.
Before, the vessel went into major rehabilitation. So, it's now out of dock, ready to sail. So MARAD, being the regulatory body, they would have to inspect the vessel to ensure that what it is currently outfitted is actually seaworthy.
The vessel will complement the services provided by the Lady Northcote from Georgetown to the Northwest District Region 1. Meanwhile, the minister notes that the 2017 budget has provisions for docking of 3 other vessels to improve services to citizens. This will commence soon, Minister Ferguson adds.
MV Malali, Lady Northcote, and MB Sandak. So MB Sandak is basically the replacement of or the overhauling of its engines, right? And for MV Malali and Lady Northcote, the usual works whenever it goes into dock.
A sum of $240 million was allocated in Budget 2017 for the reconditioning of 3 ferry vessels. Delon Sanko for the Government News Brief.
A number of infrastructural projects will be rolled out to improve the lives of residents across Region 6. Sonika Thorne tells us more.
The sum of $500 million was allotted to Region 6 to execute several roads, bridges, and drainage projects this year under the region's capital program. Regional Chairman David Armagon says that 6 major roads will be rehabilitated and constructed. Areas such as Limlair, Kanji, number 52 and 74 villages, Crabwood Creek and Manchester will benefit.
We are not, trying to put all the projects in one particular area. We're trying to spread it, especially when it comes to roads, because we got quite a number of bad roads within the region.
The regional administration is hoping to bring most of the major roads under asphaltic concrete to ensure that the roads last longer. Armagon explains.
What we find in the past is that the roads that we've been doing with what is called DBST is not holding up. And so that's a direction which is it's much more costly, but at the end of the day you're getting value for money and it lasts a pretty long time.
Additionally, monies will also be expended on drainage and irrigation to ensure residential areas do not suffer any great degree of flooding during the rainy season, and at the same time, farmers are provided with irrigation water. Bridges including the Vibert Bridge, Caliber Bridge, and New Vigilante will be rehabilitated, while a heavy-duty bridge at Wim and Footpath Bridge at Chesney, Albion, will be constructed. For the Government News Brief, Sonika Thorne reporting.
This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. Thanks for watching. The details of these and other stories can be found on Genius website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Remember to join again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renetta LaFleur. Have a great night.